August 20th, 1966. Two men climbed a hill in Brazil. Hours later, they were dead. There were no signs of violence, no obvious injuries, no witnesses, no clear cause of death. But there was something strange, very strange. Both men wore homemade lead masks over their eyes, masks made from sheets of lead, as if they were protecting themselves from something. Radiation, bright light, something unknown. Beside them, investigators found a handwritten note. The message was cryptic. 1630, be at the specified location. 1830, ingest capsules. After effect, protect metals. Wait for signal. That was it. No explanation, no names, no clues. Just two dead men, lead masks, and a mysterious message. This would become known as the lead masks case, Brazil's strangest deaths. The men were identified as Manuel Pereira de Cruz and Miguel José Viana. They were electronics technicians, friends, business partners. Both lived in the town of Campos dos Goitacazes. Neither had a criminal record. Neither was known to have enemies. At first, their trip seemed ordinary. On August 17th, the two men told their families they were traveling to buy equipment. They carried a significant amount of money. Then they left home. They would never return. The journey itself quickly became suspicious. Witnesses saw the men in a nearby town. They purchased raincoats. This confused the shop assistant. The weather was hot. The sun was shining. The men seemed nervous. One witness later recalled their behavior. They appeared anxious, as if they had an important appointment. Then they disappeared. Several days later, a young boy was flying a kite near Vintém Hill. The hill already had a reputation. Locals often reported strange lights there. Stories of UFO sightings were common. As the boy explored the hillside, he found the bodies. Police arrived immediately. The scene was bizarre. The men lay side by side. Their raincoats were neatly arranged. The lead masks covered their eyes. Nearby were empty water bottles, a towel, and the mysterious note. There was no sign of struggle, no sign of robbery. The money remained untouched. The bodies showed no obvious injuries. The masks themselves were especially strange. They resembled protective goggles, except they contained no lenses, only lead plates covering the eyes. Why would someone wear such things? The mystery deepened. Then investigators examined the note. Its instructions sounded almost ritualistic. Ingest capsules, protect metals, wait for signal. Signal from whom? And what capsules? No capsules were found, no containers, nothing. The note raised more questions than answers. The autopsy made matters worse. The cause of death could not be determined. Brazil's hot climate had accelerated decomposition. Toxicological testing was incomplete. No poison could be identified. No definitive medical explanation emerged. The official cause of death became undetermined, one of the most frustrating conclusions possible. Then investigators learned something strange about the victims. The two men had a deep interest in spiritualism and electronics, an unusual combination. They reportedly believed they could communicate with spirits, or higher beings, through scientific methods. Some acquaintances claimed the men had experimented with homemade devices, attempting to receive messages from other dimensions. Others described them as deeply involved in esoteric groups. The case suddenly became much stranger. Then came another disturbing detail. This was not the first incident. Months earlier, another electronics technician had died under mysterious circumstances. He also possessed lead masks. He also had interest in spiritual communication. The similarities were unsettling. Was there a hidden group, a secret experiment, a dangerous ritual? Investigators considered several possibilities. The first involved accidental poisoning. Perhaps the men ingested drugs or experimental chemicals. The note specifically mentioned capsules. Perhaps they consumed something toxic. Perhaps they expected hallucinations or spiritual experiences and died accidentally. This theory remains popular, but there is a problem. No evidence of poison was ever confirmed. No capsules were found. No medical proof existed. Then came another theory, suicide. Perhaps the men planned a ritual death. Yet this explanation also struggles. There was no suicide note, no clear motive. And why wear lead masks? The masks made little sense. Then came perhaps the most famous theory, UFOs. The hill already had a reputation for strange lights. Several witnesses reported unusual objects in the sky around that time. One woman claimed she saw a bright orange object hovering over the hill. Another described strange luminous phenomena. The reports fueled speculation. Perhaps the men expected contact with extraterrestrials. Perhaps they believed a signal would arrive. The note's final instructions seemed intriguing. Wait for signal. Signal from whom? The theory became legendary. Then another possibility emerged: spiritual experimentation. The men may have believed they could transcend reality, contact spirits, travel between dimensions, or receive higher knowledge. The lead masks may have been intended to protect their eyes from intense light. The note may have been instructions for a ritual. This theory fits several pieces of evidence, yet it explains almost nothing. Why did they die? And from what? No answer exists. Then another mystery appeared. The police investigation was plagued by problems. Evidence was lost. Witness statements conflicted. Some items disappeared. Important leads were never followed properly. As years passed, the mystery only deepened. Books were written, documentaries explored the case, theories multiplied: secret cults, government experiments, alien encounters, poisoning, mass delusion. No theory solved everything, because every explanation leaves unanswered questions. Two intelligent men traveled to a hill, purchased raincoats on a sunny day, wore homemade lead masks, possibly consumed capsules, then waited for a signal, and died. No injuries, no robbery, no obvious cause, nothing. The mystery survives because the scene feels almost staged, as if the men were following instructions, as if they expected something extraordinary to happen. Perhaps they were waiting for a spiritual experience, perhaps for a message, perhaps for contact with something unknown. Whatever they expected. They never came home. More than half a century has passed. The hill remains, the note remains, the lead masks remain, but the truth remains hidden. Two friends climbed a Brazilian hillside. They carried money, they carried hope, and perhaps they carried expectations of something beyond ordinary reality. Instead, they became one of history's strangest unsolved cases: a pair of bodies, homemade lead masks, a cryptic note, and one haunting question: what signal were they waiting for on the hill where they died?